want to address dealing with addiction. Explain a little what that's going to be about. Not quite sure how I'm going to. It's more than likely going to be slide presentations with graphic photos that relate to the book of poems I wrote. Probably about 7 years ago now. I wrote it while I was in my recovery. I wrote some of it while I was in treatment, and I wrote some of it while I was still under the influence of the drugs I was using. I have a long and very troubling history of drug and alcohol addiction. I hope that don't make you think anything less of me. I am recovering now. I'm doing well, and I have a message that touches and reaches out to those that are still struggling with it, those affected by it, whether it be a friend or a child or a spouse that is struggling with the problem. I am able to connect and reach out to these people and stress the importance that they get a handle on their addictions, overcome it. If they're not into it, that they don't start. And if they're an affected friend or family member, that they recognize the signs and symptoms and that they handle this properly without pushing the ones they're concerned for deeper into their addiction by handling the situation improperly. Addiction is a disease. Let's make that clear right now. It's not in many cases we think it's just a weakness and poor choices we make. Maybe you can agree with that there's an argument there, but not necessarily always. Some of us have painful issues, or in my case, I've been diagnosed as having bipolar disorder. So in my case, bipolar people are notorious for self-prescribing and finding medications to help us feel better, because our depression stages are so low and so unproductive and so just absolutely miserable that we find a way out, whatever it takes, whether it be a pill, a drink, something to make us just feel better, temporary. But I will bring it, express the fact nothing is permanent, and drug addiction is not a solution to anything. Proper medication, I will vouch for that, but drug addiction and street drugs, I will do my best to convince people to stay away from them, live clean, stay clean, lean on God for support and strength. Depending what people are hooked on, what they're going through, I have answers to their problems to tell them how to, avoid withdrawal and how to best get away from whatever particular drug habit that they are involved in. Because God knows I have been involved in everything, from marijuana, LSD, cocaine, heroin, using needles, injecting things into my arms. I was just a full-blown addict, there's no doubt about it. I was at the Betty Ford Center, and I've been in 2 other treatment programs. I've learned a lot. I'm well educated and well versed, and my poems have very much power, and they're very impacting. So if it is not for you, surely you know somebody that this dealing with addiction part of my site would be of great value to. If it saves their lives, if it puts them into recovery, if it saves their family, then it was worth you taking your time to send that particular link on my website to them to help them to address and confront their addictions. So I feel very strongly about that. That's going to be one of my more important parts of my website. Addiction is an epidemic in this country and all over the world now. This heroin's making a comeback. We're losing our youth at an alarming rate, whether you know it or not. If it hasn't hit it home yet, wait till it does, because kids are overdosing and dying by the hundreds on a daily basis now, and it's getting worse. The problem is not getting any better. Afghanistan is shipping over the purest heroin this country has ever seen, and these kids don't know what they're doing, and they're injecting it and snorting it in their noses without realizing how lethal this drug is. It is killing kids left and right. So we got to get the message out to them stay away from this. If something's troubling you, let's deal with it anyway, with counseling, or get them into a martial arts program, get them into anything that makes them feel better and feel good about themselves and helps them overcome their low self-esteem or the pain in their heart, whatever it is that's causing them to use. Let's get to the bottom of it, and let's help them get into a recovery program that works for them. So pay close attention to this website. If it don't pertain to you, and I hope it doesn't, more power to you. But if it pertains to you in the least, you probably have an addiction, whether it be sex, gambling, work, it could be anything. Mine is focused on drugs and alcohol, but addictions, we all have them, whether it be TV or gossip. We all have some sort of addiction. Just some of us is drugs and alcohol, and society belittles us as addicts and pushes us further into our addictions, increases our hurt in our hearts. And I hope you'll learn from me as a recovering addict that we're not necessarily stupid people, we're not necessarily lazy, we're not necessarily worthless, as some people label us. In most cases, we're very intelligent, very sensitive, very meaningful, and very nice people if you take the chance to get to know us and give us a fair shake without judging us just because of our drug and alcohol dependencies. When we become abusive because of those tendencies, then we need some hard-line therapy, and I'm willing to provide that. So let's go. Let's see what we can do about turning this nation of ours into one of, famous and notorious for its high rate of recovering addicts and alcoholics. I will do my best to see what I could make happen by distributing my books to the jails and the treatment centers and making everything available on the internet. So pray for my mission there. That one needs a lot of help, and just pray that my message gets through. I thank you for your time, and that's all I have to say about dealing with addiction.